So this is my current events project. I'm just gonna say the title of my, I guess, publication. 5 killed in attacks in Tel Aviv and Israeli settlements in West Bank. It was done by Raf Sanchez, published by Telegraph.co.uk, and it was publicized 6:40 p.m. GMT time. I have no idea what that is. 19th of November, 2015. Basically, 2 people were shot and stabbed, and 3 others were shot to death. One of the victims was a teenaged American. That's sad. Just for about how much killing there is. But first attack had a Palestinian open fire on 3 people from his vehicle before ramming it into another car. This attack came hours after 2 people were stabbed to death in front of an office building in Tel Aviv. Palestinian men who were armed attacked military and civilians on a daily basis. On November 19th, the Israeli death toll to 17 since October 1st, and at least 82 Palestinians have been killed in the same time period, at which Israeli says 52 were attackers. The group that has been doing these attacks is called Hamas. This is important because why are we fighting? There should be no reason. We should not be just fighting each other over silly quarrels like land, which is what these 2 religious groups are doing. They're basically fighting over land. But it's important because this is basically near Syria. And this is important because there are actual people living here, that they have jobs here. And it's not fair for them to have to endure this every day. This has been news that's been happening since October. And either side hasn't stopped. They haven't worked out how not to stop. This should not be like this. We should be talking to each other. We should be talking with each other, trying to solve this, like you would with other people. Like on school grounds. Like how basically teachers come and stop people if they're fighting. They've got to just come in and just explain the situation. And it's very unusual for us to hear about this kind of radical attacks because, well, there's ISIS like right next to them, and we rarely hear about these other attacks. And it references something negative, and I don't like it because of this. I just feel sad whenever I hear something negative. It just makes me hurt them. And as of right now, it doesn't look like both sides aren't going to give ground and are not going to talk to each other. And the impact this will have on many of us living in this country, unless we have relatives in this area, in Jerusalem, which is, that we know of, is very, very little. We've got to just, because we're tightening our security here, but we're not helping the people over there, because we're scared of the radical terrorists. But we haven't been able to help other people fight back these radical people. And the reason these 2 are fighting is because they both want control of the Holy Land, Jerusalem, which in the Bible is basically a huge chunk of land, and basically, sorry for saying basically a lot, basically they just want Jerusalem, which is the Holy Land, where basically a lot of their stories were told. And they fought for it from World War I to 1948. and which is when they split it into three parts: the State of Israel, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. And I believe the author does put some bias towards one side because he calls most Palestinians radical terrorists. And I'm sure not all Palestinians are radical terrorists, which is, I don't like it, because these radical terrorists need to be stopped. And it makes it seem as though all Palestinians are evil terrorists. The author of the article showed some tweets of some figures giving their opinion about the situation and calling it a radical attack, and all through it, I don't know much about this situation. It's a very, very complex situation that grade 10 student like me will probably still have some questions about it. It's a gray area. Both sides want to do something good, but both sides can't talk to one another because they think their way is better. Sort of like never mind. Yeah. And it connects to globalization because we are able to see this event right now. But if we weren't connected, we wouldn't know about this. Seriously, we wouldn't know about this. We might know about ISIS because they attacked France, which is in Europe, and one of England's neighbors. So we would know about that, but we wouldn't know about this. Like, as much as we know right now, we wouldn't know even less. And it would seem, and most media outlets just want to have stories about ISIS because, well, ISIS makes people click on it. It's clickbait, basically. ISIS equals clickbait. You see ISIS, you're going to be like, what did ISIS do now? Click. That's basically what... And when you bring up a text like this, less people are going to click on it because, well, they don't... Some of us don't really want to see it unless it says ISIS said it did that. But nonetheless, it's connected to globalization because the only way I knew about this was because of media. I just looked up news and I found this story, which is why I chose it. And yeah, this is my presentation. Hope you guys had a good 8 minutes watching this.